Casey Cavanaugh, and I see myself as sort of a world builder. I'm obsessed with creating moods and atmospheres, and I think that photography is such an amazing tool to achieve that. I think one of the biggest things I like from movies is the worlds that they create and that it's not real life. I build props and machine things and make things, so I kind of love just the idea of sort of creating every aspect of something. A body of work over time that's curated and done in a specific way can kind of bring about this world, and I gravitate towards industrial looking things. I really enjoy that aesthetic, so to me, I think that those types of things are beautiful in their own way. Even just the texture of a subway wall, a weird corner with an interesting fluorescent light. I love the looks of those things quite a bit, and I gravitate towards things that fit a similar atmosphere. Limitation is the catalyst of creativity, really. I've essentially lived with limitation all of my life. I have a physical disability that affects my fingers and my muscles in general. I can't bend my fingers or lift things that aren't even marginally heavy to normal people. So I'm very used to working within limitation and coming up with creative ways of not being hindered by it. Maybe subconsciously that is what draws me to GFX100RF. You really need to think more when using a fixed lens camera. You need to think out of the box. You're not carrying a bag full of lenses around. It's just you and a camera and one lens. It gets rid of the option paralysis of gear that a lot of people get stuck in. It's both refreshing and creatively invigorating. It really opens your creative mind. So I grew up in rural Michigan and still live in rural Michigan. Tokyo couldn't be any farther from that. It's a city of tens of millions of people. Every single building you walk by is a different shape, a different texture. It's not the uniform buildings that you see in the United States. It's incredibly inspiring. Upon going home, I could now think from the perspective of an outsider and see my own environment with a new mindset. To get this new perspective on your everyday surroundings doesn't require you to go on the other side of the planet. Think a camera that inspires you, makes the act of image making fun, brings out the inner child and the curiosity that you might have lost in, the mundanity of everyday life. And I think GFX100RF is that kind of camera for me. Absolutely love classic chrome for more daylit scenes, a daylight white balance. I think it really brings out colors in a way that I haven't really seen in other cameras. GxAce is another film simulation that I absolutely love. I think it works really well for darker scenes. Having the ability to see the image as close to what it's going to be when it's finished just absolutely changes the way that you make images. The fact that aspect ratios are like a center feature of this camera is awesome. It's something that I feel like only Fujifilm would do. It's just this unique new way of interacting with your camera and the experience of making images. It lets you see the world in whatever format you want to see it in. And for me, I gravitate towards the 65x24. It's a small thing, but it's really impactful to the actual process. I think if you don't don't enjoy what you make and aren't your biggest fan, then well, like, why would anybody else enjoy it? I make images for me. My work is primarily shared on the internet, and what I've come to realize about the internet is that if you just double down on being yourself, there, just by the sheer volume of people in the world, there'll be thousands of people that feel the same way as you. And I think that is a really interesting aspect of the world that we live in. You have to make things that you enjoy, and if your goal is to share it with other people or have other people enjoy it, the only way that that's going to happen is if you do. And I think that that's the driving force of why I do stuff, is because I enjoy it.